Would you like me to elaborate on that or anything?
No, I think that rehash of the processes was very thorough. Thank you, Richard. And so that does it for questions we have from the audience. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
I mean, just from our perspective, in the UK, I mean, we've seen a number of US transactions, but I'll speak to UK and European transactions. There's been a real uptick in demand in the last 12 months, and I think that that can be explained by, one, growing awareness of what the product can do, and two, funds beginning to see more activity. And funds who are selling assets, they need to return money to investors, and this insurance policy is a great way of making an exit, providing potential buyers with all the protection that they need, but yet limiting your risk and allowing full distribution to investors. And I think that probably explains much of the uptick in demand in the last 12 months here in the UK and Europe. I mean, Dan, are you seeing a similar sort of activity in the States?
Richard, yes, we're seeing similar activity. Primarily exits for portfolio companies of PE firms or venture capital firms in general are not happening on the IPO market. So M&A is really their exit, and many of these funds have been around for a long time and are looking to close the funds so they can raise new funds. And this transactional liability insurance has been a great tool in order to help them exit their portfolio companies, thereby allowing them to raise money for the new funds as well.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a very interesting point there in terms of the IPO market being relatively difficult. And I mean, for example, we have a very strong presence in Israel. Traditional route there was float on NASDAQ. That's no longer available. And as a result, we're seeing a lot more activity from US private equity funds, US corporate buyers who are going and making acquisitions in Israel. So it's an interesting point you touch on there.
Well, a big thank you to the both of you for presenting today and sharing your expertise on transactional liability insurance. I'm sure all of our attendees found it enlightening and helpful. And to all of our attendees, thank you for listening in today. And if you're interested in staying up to date on similar content from Axial, please visit axial.net/events. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You will no longer hear beeps until someone else joins the conference.